The basic law of real estate supply and demand is usually predictable. When borrowing costs rise and buyers disappear, home prices fall to meet the new reality of the market. This chart shows how the current market is violating that rule. Transaction volumes have plummeted as buyers pull back, but prices are holding firm or even rising in major cities. Mortgage rates remain elevated in the high single digits, despite signals from central banks that the tightening cycle might be ending. This matters because housing demand is driven by monthly affordability, not just the sticker price. The housing market has stopped functioning as a normal clearing market. The visible stability in prices actually reflects a market that has simply stopped moving. To see why demand is dropping, we have to look at how these macroeconomic shifts hit an individual household budget. Take a $100,000 loan. At 5%, the payment is $537. At 8%, it jumps to $734. That's a 36% EMI increase. When inflation pushes expenses up, disposable income evaporates. The household is left with near zero savings. These buyers are stepping back because the financing costs have shifted the affordability threshold. But if the buyers are gone, why haven't prices adjusted? The answer lies with the sellers. Housing inventory remains constrained relative to pre-pandemic levels, and new supply is not arriving to meet what demand remains. Construction costs for steel, cement, and labor remain high, which leaves developers with thin margins. Rather than cutting prices to spur sales, developers are delaying projects and reducing new launches to protect their bottom line. At the same time, the supply of existing homes has evaporated due to the lock-in effect. Most current homeowners are locked into older, lower-rate loans. Selling their home today would mean giving up that low-rate mortgage and re-entering the market at an 8% rate. Instead of selling, they hold, keeping those listings off the market. With developers slowing down and homeowners staying put, supply has tightened alongside demand. This standoff keeps prices sticky, even as the number of actual sales dries up. There is one final barrier keeping the market stagnant: the banks. Even for those who can manage the higher rates, banks are maintaining tighter lending standards. Credit filters are tightening at the exact moment affordability is at its weakest, making it harder for even qualified buyers to secure a loan. The market is no longer clearing through price adjustments. It is stalling through a lack of volume. This total inactivity is a housing freeze. When people defer a home purchase, their housing needs don't go away. They move into the rental market, where increased competition is now pushing rents upward. This creates a feedback loop. Higher rents reduce a household's ability to save for a down payment, which delays their home purchase even further. This sustained rental demand keeps costs high, trapping potential buyers in the loop. When households redirect more of their income toward debt servicing and rent, discretionary spending falls. This leads to slower demand for goods and services, which eventually impacts business revenues across the economy. Housing is deeply connected to employment. When developers slow project launches, the demand for labor, materials, and specialized services drops. Eventually, this lack of construction activity shows up in the labor market as these sectors require fewer workers. The primary economic danger of this cycle is not a sudden price correction. It is the slow, structural stagnation that drains momentum from the broader economy over time. Central banks are facing a core trade-off. They must keep rates elevated to control inflation, but those same high rates are freezing the housing market and slowing growth. If current conditions persist, the market follows path A, a state of low transaction, high price stagnation that gradually weakens construction and employment. In path B, rates ease and buyers rush back. But because supply takes time to recover, this surge in demand can cause prices to spike violently before new construction can catch up, worsening affordability once again. The housing market has become a pressure cooker with no clean release valve. It is a system where pressures are building without being resolved, leaving the market locked in a cycle that has yet to find a normal state.